You know how we always wonder about the prequels to our favorite epic stories? Well, today we're doing just that. We're going way back to what you could call the pilot episode of Hindu mythology. We're diving deep into the Brahma Purana, the very first of the great epic histories, to really understand the original story of creation and meet the first heroes who walked the earth.
You see, our story doesn't start with some big cosmic bang. It actually starts with a question. I want you to picture this, the ancient Naimisharanya forest, a place just humming with spiritual energy. You've got the greatest minds of the age all gathered for this huge 1,000-year-long ceremony. But they're hungry for something more than rituals. They want answers. So they turn to the master storyteller, a man named Naimisharanya, and they ask him a question that sets everything in motion. Tell us, how did it all begin?
So we're going to follow the path of that very first story. We'll kick things off with how the Puranas have even started. Then, we'll see how Brahma created the entire cosmos. After that, we'll get into the incredible tale of King Prithu, and then we'll track the two legendary dynasties, the Solar and the Lunar, that really shaped history. And finally, we'll unpack what the legacy of all this knowledge really is.
So what those sages were asking for? That was a Purana. The whole tradition isn't like a book that just fell out of the sky. It's a conversation. It's this living, breathing dialogue between people who are intensely curious and a master who has the answers, all passed down generation after generation.
The word Purana itself literally means of ancient times. But trust me, this isn't some dusty old history book. You should think of it more like a civilization's ultimate encyclopedia, a huge collection of its collective memory. It's got everything, from the birth of galaxies to the family trees of ancient kings, from cosmic laws to just the simple art of living a good life. And the Brahma Purana? That's the OG, the very first volume in this epic library.
All right, so the storyteller begins. He takes the sages from their spot in the forest all the way back to the dawn of time itself. He starts with the ultimate reality, the one single source from which everything else emerges. Before time even existed, there was only Narayana, the supreme being, just floating on a cosmic ocean. Then this desire to create just sparks into being, and suddenly this magnificent golden egg appears, the Hiranyagarbha, which means the golden womb. And from this incredible cosmic egg emerges the creator himself, Brahma, the grand architect of the universe. His first job? To fill the emptiness with life. Now this is where it gets really cool. Brahma doesn't just snap his fingers and make everything. As you can see here, he first creates 7 great sages, beings like Maharishi and Vasishtha, directly from his own mind. These are the Prajapatis, the lords of all creatures, and they are given the monumental task of populating this brand new universe. And it's from them and their kids and their kids' kids that all life as we know it, gods, demons, animals, and yeah, us humans, it all begins.
So from that huge cosmic scale of creation, the Purana suddenly zooms way in, to a story that feels much more personal, much more urgent. It's the story of the world's very first true king, a hero who basically had to save the entire planet from collapsing.
This is the huge crisis facing King Prithu. See, after years of chaos under his tyrannical father, the earth has just become barren. Crops won't grow, all the resources are gone, and people are starving. It's like the planet itself just shut down. Seriously, what do you do when the earth goes on strike? Well, Prithu does what a king is supposed to do. He grabs his divine bow and he chases down the earth, who's actually taken the form of a cow to try and escape. He finally corners her, not like a tyrant would, but as a protector, demanding that she provide for all the creatures that call her home. He really becomes the first true leader, setting up this idea that a ruler's #1 job is to care for their people.
And this is just the most brilliant part of the story. Prithu doesn't punish the earth, he partners with it. By milking the earth cow, he teaches humanity how to do everything, how to farm, how to mine for resources, how to build cities, basically how to create a society that works. He literally reshapes the world, inventing civilization as we know it. In fact, the earth is even named Prithvi in his honor, a tribute to the king who saved it.
Okay, so with civilization now established by this perfect king, the Purana then lays out the family trees of all its greatest future heroes. And it turns out that pretty much every epic hero you've ever heard of belongs to one of 2 legendary dynasties. And both of them trace their roots all the way back to the heavens.
First up, you've got the Surya Vansh, the Solar Dynasty. These guys are descended from the son of the sun god himself. They are the absolute epitome of duty, truth, and cosmic order, what we call Dharma. And then you've got the Chandra Vansh, the Lunar Dynasty. descended from the moon god. They are known for their raw power, their fierce ambition, and stories that are just full of passion and drama.
So the Brahma Purana lays all of this groundwork. It establishes the founders of these incredible family lines. And this table here really lays it all out. From the Solar Dynasty, which was founded by Vaivasvatamanu, you eventually get the lineage of Lord Rama from the Ramayana. And from the Lunar Dynasty, you get the ancestors of the warring cousins in the Mahabharata. All those massive epic stories, they start right here, in these ancient family trees. So as the storyteller finally brings these huge genealogies to a close, the sages there in the forest, they're left with more than just stories. They're left with complete worldview. And really, that's the whole point of a Purana.
Look, these are not just once-upon-a-time tales. They're the foundational library of an entire culture. They give you the context, the backstory, the whole philosophical framework for all the epics and beliefs that came later. You could almost think of them as the source code for a civilization. It's the fundamental programming that shapes everything else.
So let's just recap what this foundational text has given us. The Brahma Purana lays out the origin of the universe, the blueprint for life, a masterclass in leadership from King Prithu, the family trees of our favorite heroes, and it provides the very bedrock for the great epics, the Ramayana and the Mahabharata. It shows us a universe that operates in these massive, repeating cycles of creation and destruction, a cosmic dance that's still going on today.
And that brings us to the biggest question of all. When we hear about a king who had to literally negotiate with a dying planet just to ensure our survival, or when we trace family trees back to the sun and the moon, we're not just looking at the past. We are confronting these timeless questions about creation, about responsibility, and about our own place in the cosmos. So what secrets for our own time, for our own lives, are hidden in these ancient stories? That, right there, is the enduring legacy of the Puranas.